Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the new Lego Lawyer. If you're able to hear me, drop a note down in the comments that you can hear me. I don't have the rig completely reinstalled yet, so I've got some bits and pieces missing. So we're making do with what we have. If you guys can hear me, drop a note. Very good. I see it totally. Jersey 9751. Good evening. I don't know if any of my mods are going to be here. I know that uh, Laura mods a different channel on Sunday nights, and haven't heard from Gary, but I did reach out to my mods and tell them that I was back. Art and Courts also. I don't think I need that. Sorry, I'm still trying to get stuff plugged in. Art and Courts, maybe not able to be here. We'll see. So I've still got to get the microphone stand installed. I had torn it all down, of course, and had repurposed the room for a while, but surprise, we are back. I did see the messages. I did see the emails. I don't think I responded to anybody, but I did see them. I appreciate the kind words, everybody. So give me a minute. Like my wireless keyboard's not even charged at the moment, so I'm trying to have left-handed here. Let me go back to the top here. Let's see. Shats in Jersey. I'll have to catch up. Okay, well, welcome back. We're glad you're here. Well, Nana Donna, thank you. Shanazerdoc, RMJ70. Nana Donna, weird. Was just thinking of you yesterday, wondering how you and the family were doing. We're all very good. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But appreciate everybody. Kelly BC, good evening. At Flygirl716. Welcome back, Zach. You've been missed. Well, thank you. I miss all you guys. Consider a lot of you part of my extended family, even though many of us haven't met. Let's see. Stephen Adams 4466. It's great to have you back. Thank you. Glad to be back at the Journey 2020. Good evening. Nana's Ranch, welcome back. Good evening, Nana. Shay Shades, good to see you. Welcome back. Thank you. Good to see you here as well. At Elephant 7510, been a long time. Just tuned in. Where the heck have you been? Well, the good news is you haven't missed much. So here we are. We'll get to it. Clara, it's not easy being me. Good evening. Up Mayo 9741. At Eminem 821. Karen Lee Maloney 684. Margaretista and M. Okay, let's see. Good evening, everybody. I'm not going to be able to keep up with all the names, but wow, we've already got 46 in here. That's fantastic. I figured it'd just be like 3, 2 moderators and me. So I'm just super, super pleased that everybody came out tonight. Just a lot of fun seeing you guys again. Stephen Adams 4464 said, changed my name on YouTube. I had it as Oakland Baseball. I remember Oakland Baseball. So yeah, CSI Piper, good evening. Let's see. Says no mods here. Yeah, not yet. I'm not sure if we will or won't. I reached out to them, but it was super late notice. I've kept in touch with them with the mods, but we'll see. So I don't expect them tonight. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but there you go. So give you guys a quick update. So Danny Mitchell 7617. Good evening. Sue's Esquire, good evening. All right. So give you guys a quick update. My lovely wife is 2 semesters away, one in the spring, one in the fall, from finishing her doctorate. So I know that journey was just sort of beginning about this time last year or so. She's getting ready to jump off into that adventure. So she's well on her path, well down the path towards that. Our bonus babies were with us for a while, and then they had an opportunity to move on to bluer skies and greener pastures, which is what they needed to continue to progress to seek reunification with their family. So um, wish them all the best. We do still keep in touch with them. They do occasionally call, and when they call, we make ourselves, of course, available to them. So I wish them all the best. It was we provided them a place to stay when they were in need in that season of their life, and so I feel good about what we were able to do for those young ones. And in my day job, my outside job, of course, been a crazy year legally, Supreme Court, federal court, state courts, etc. So been a crazy year there, just generally speaking. But um, we'll do a different video on that. But uh, been busy. I started a foundation through the so for those who don't know or don't remember, I'm a lawyer by training. I flew airplanes for a living, and now I actually teach. I taught at the collegiate level. Was actually recruited away, which is kind of hard, kind of weird to say. You don't see it a lot, but it does happen. Was recruited away from higher education to become the director of STEM education for a school district. I also teach aviation coursework in that school district. And so, one of the things that I've done in the last year was created a foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit called the Flying Lion Foundation, and it's multifold. It does a couple of things. One, it is to remove the one of the barriers of entry to learning to fly airplanes, not professionally, just recreationally, just the skill set and learning the technical skills to do that. Cost is, of course, a major barrier to entry. So the primary function is to raise funds to help offset the cost of flight training. But at a greater level, I've got a little over 100 students program wide from 9 to 12 in my program, and not a lot of them, probably only no more than half of them actually want to fly airplanes for a living, but they want to find other occupations. And so the goal of the foundation is to raise money to help pay for college tuition or job placement or career training. Oklahoma has really the best career training through the career tech system in the country. We do it unique to any other state, and we're really good at it. But there's a huge demand for things like aviation mechanics around the country. Certainly in Oklahoma, where I live, but also across the country. Average pay north of $70,000 a year, unadjusted for cost of living. So that's an across the board. If you move to more expensive places, Denver or California or New York or Florida, of course the compensation would adjust accordingly. But I have friends in that space, and one of their things is they said, when we got in the business, we didn't have any tools, so we had to go to the tool man, and we owe the tool truck the next 30 years of our life. And so one of my goals is to be able to provide my graduates, when they graduate my program, they go off to a technical training, and they come back, and if they bring me a completion certificate and a job offer, I want to be able to buy them the hand tools that they need to get started. Of course, they'll build their toolbox as they go, but I don't want them having to owe the tool man more than the mortgage company, and just to be able to do their job. So a variety of things I want to do. So some flight training help and some college tuition help, but also some workforce readiness and workforce skills as well through the foundation. So stay tuned for more information on that. Let's see. Check the chat here. Nana Donna, I will pass along your congrats. At pot 56458, we've missed you. Well, thank you, and I'm glad to be back. I missed everybody. I'll consider you part of my extended family. Rachel Mills 5770. Hope your family's doing well. We are. We're all healthy. So that's, at this point, it's about all we can ask for. At Stephen Adams 4466, also formerly known as Oakland Baseball. Are you still let's see, where was I? Missed it. Are you still being a lawyer? Yeah, Um, Not a ton. I've got a few open cases. Most of what I'm doing is transactional now. I mean, I don't, it's, writing wills, reviewing contracts, things like that. I do have a couple of open cases, but none of them are moving anytime soon because it's a long time. Long-term guardianship placements and stuff. So, whether that leads to an adoption or a child aging out or, ultimately a reunification, uh, time will tell. Sorry, there's something in the chat that's causing me a bit of heartburn. Someone just keeps posting quotes. Harton Courts, good evening. Thank you so much. Stopped in to say welcome back. Thank you very much for being here. If you can hang around the chat, I want you to keep an eye on something. I've got a particular commenter that's just sort of randomly posting my own quotes back to me. So it's been a while since I've been out in this space. So you might keep an eye on that and message me off the thread or something if there's something I need to be aware of as it relates to that. So appreciate that. Let's see. No, I don't want to update my software on my computer at the moment. Sorry. Let's see. Nodadonna says every time something in aviation happened last year, I thought of you. Yeah, there's been a lot. Of course, most recently we had the NASCAR driver like 2 or 3 days and 2 or 3 days ago in Statesville. We had the loss of the FedEx flight. There's a long history with the DC-10. I mean, I'm not downplaying what happened. It's still a significant event. And there's a lot to be seen about that, but that's actually not the first time we have information about that particular loss. And then, of course, lots of general aviation, as we see day to day, lots of general aviation stuff. So, yeah, when I start putting together my my video plans, then we'll look at it. Spend some time. Nurse, I hovered on it. Nurse Thiel 1. Happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you, and to you as well. From New Orleans, very good. Art Courts. Laura Waldy, good evening. Thank you, Laura. Kelly BC, are you doing split stream with vertical and horizontal? I think so. I set it up to do it. It's a new feature. When it popped up in the schedule, do you want to do it? I was like, what the heck, we'll try it. So I click one button on my end, but I think it sends it in both. When I look on the YouTube end, it shows that there are 2 active streams with a vertical and a horizontal. So I think so. In fact, I have a button here. Let me look and see what this does. It says show vertical. Oh, yeah. I can see myself side by side, but I guess on the vertical, I'm not centered. Let me come over here and see if I can center a little better. Or maybe move this. Yeah, it's a little better. Sorry, I didn't realize off screen on the vertical. There we go. Clark Sharts says, do you dislike your own words? No, not at all. Not at all. It's just a bit It's just a bit odd to see them quoted back at me without context. So. Mr. Dan says, what is my opinion on the movie My Cousin Vinny? Oh, so My Cousin Vinny, oddly enough, it's from a procedural standpoint, it's very accurate as far as the procedure and the courtroom flow and the way people are impeached and attacking the credibility of a witness. There's lots of ways that can be done. That movie does the rules of evidence are presented very well. In fact, that movie is used by most law schools, including the one I went to, in evidence classes for that reason. It is very accurate. Now the timeline is not like that. You're not going to be arrested on a Friday and go to trial on a Monday. It would take weeks. Most of the time, it'd take a week or more, a month or more to get an arraignment, unless you're indicted. But even in the federal court system, from indictment to trial, when the government's ready to indict someone, they have to be willing to go to trial within 77 days, and that's the speedy trial. That's the fastest you could expect in federal court, but it's never that fast. So the timeline is off in the movie, but as far as procedurally and the way they voir dire Mona Lisa veto, well, what does being an out of work hairdresser have anything to do with being an automotive mechanic? Nothing. Well, what's your skill set? Well, I did oil changes and rebuilt transmissions and mounted and balanced tires. And she establishes her credibility even when she's taken on voir dire by the prosecution. So let's see. Yeah, My Cousin Vinny is funny. It's accurate. It's older now, of course. Most younger generation don't know about it, but it's a good movie. Legally, it's accurate. Procedurally, it's accurate. And it's a lot of fun. Let's see. Am I going to be building any Lego sets on stream? I am. Not on this stream, but yes. Yes, I am. Abigail S1226. It's awesome to see. How you been? I've been very good. Thank you so much for asking. Sorry, I got a bit of excess information I'm reading over here. Let's see. Welcome back, Abigail. Glad you are with us. Valerie Boljack. I feel like I've read your name before. Been a while, but I do feel like I've seen your name before. All right, let's see. Cutley Clips 911, 911. Good evening. Rachel S. Sorry, Rachel S. 3275. There it is. I lost you a little bit there. All right. So I don't know how long we're gonna go, but I just wanted to drop in, say hi. Been just super pleased to see you guys back. The channel sort of came to an abrupt end. You guys didn't do anything to cause that. But with the bonus babies that we had at the time, there were a lot of things going on there. Not that we could control, but that we as the foster parents needed to address with them. So, not y'all's fault at all. Let's see. Elephant says, anybody ready for Christmas? As a parent, yeah. We try to make Christmas special. I don't say big because big is relative. What's big to somebody else may be not big to others, and what's not big to someone else could be huge to others. So, I say, we try to do Christmas special. We try to create memories with our kids, and so it goes. Let's see. Yeah, we were busy. We were busy for sure. So, and Laura, glad you're here. I know that you have other obligations, at least sometimes on Sunday. So I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us and helping run the show here. Abigail S1226. This format is awful, but I was hoping you'd recognize my name. I'm glad you're getting back in the show. I'm glad I continue Patreon as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. So there's some cool stuff coming to the channel here. We've got I've got some memberships set up as well. If anybody, I hadn't done it. I think memberships were available last time I was on. I hadn't really picked it up, but I talked to some friends of mine in the creator space. Because anytime I put together an opportunity for you guys, I want to make sure that you feel like you're getting the value out of that. If you're just contributing to the channel because you like the content, that's fantastic. I appreciate that. It means a lot. But if whatever your expectation of what you were of what you were expecting, I hope you guys get that. So I try to be a little bit hesitant when I add more pay to play products on the channel, because I don't pay for YouTube. I never have. I watch the ads. I don't pay for music. So when I stream music through internet radio, I don't pay for that. I listen to the ads. And so I don't ever want payment to be a barrier to entry or to turn someone away from the channel. So my goal is to find ways to use YouTube to help support my family, help support the goals of the Flying Lion Foundation and some of these other things that I do. And I hope to be able to use YouTube to do that. But I don't ever want people to feel like they're not getting what they paid for. So I have added memberships. They allegedly were approved. I got an email from Google saying they were approved. So we'll see. Of course, the merch store is still there. If there's things that you guys want me to add to the merch store, I've got a couple of designs that I'm working on as well. But if you have any designs, speaking of Lego, I'm actually holding my Lego piece separator at the moment. And I guess just to keep in line with the theme here, just happenstance on my desk, I have this and that. So just by happenstance, I have a couple of pieces here. So let's see. Abigail, when you say format, I'm not sure what you mean by that, unless you just mean like me just you hoping that I grab your comment out of the chat, I guess. But if there's something more specific, by all means. And you guys know the drill. The email hasn't changed. Your lawyer friend Zach@gmail.com. Even if I don't email you back, please know that I get them, that I read them. Just, for example, I'll give you guys, and this doesn't include the YouTube email address, of course, but just today, I've received 2,200 emails just today. Let's see. Laura Waldy says, were you able to get the hearing aids? Not quite. There were a series of circumstances that arose. That money is the money that you all have contributed is still there. It's still sitting in the bank account. I do have accounts for YouTube. That money is still sitting in the bank account. But no, we haven't quite gotten there yet. That's sort of a back burner goal. That money's still there. Because that's what you guys sent it to me for. So that money's still there. We haven't gotten there yet, but I know at some point we will. All right. Well, the good news is we can handle PDD real quick. Yeah, handle him. Let's see. Well, 22. Yeah. My email. So now, granted, there's 9 or 10 emails that I regularly manage, but it is what it is. Abigail, are you the Abigail whose parents live in upstate New York and fly back and forth to Orlando-ish? Does that sound about right? I know I've emailed you and you used to ask about weather on their flights and stuff, right? Is that the same Abigail? I remember that right? Yes. See, yeah, I do remember. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what else. Yeah. So let me check YouTube on my end here real quick. Let's go to this tab. I'm going to look at this tab real quick and see what it says. Okay. It says that my membership steps, I have 3 steps at the moment. It was whatever the default setting prices were. I'm like $3.99, $4.99, and $15.99. So I forget exactly. Just whatever the default was. I need to look at my email here and see if I remember getting something from, let's see. I may have trashed them. Just no. Hold on, guys. Let me check in one of my email accounts real quick. I thought I remember it saying that they had been accepted, but maybe they weren't. Let's see. Yeah, at the very least, the memberships are under review. That's what it says. Your levels are in review. You'll get an email within the next 20. You'll get an email with the next steps, typically within 24 hours. Once approved, you'll be able to launch. Okay, so stand by for that, I guess. Let's see. It says it's not your fault. YouTube is changing it to using handles instead of the name. I really don't like it. It's those creators on. Yeah, I know sort of who my core group is. I can't imagine those guys who have and ladies with tens of thousands of views at a time. I don't know how we manage that. Let's see. Good question by Stephen Adams here. What are your thoughts on the air traffic controllers getting the big bonus from the government after it reopened? Well, first, it wasn't all controllers. I think it was those controllers who worked, never missed a shift, and never took a day off. It was certainly earned. I mean, they were borderline being worked illegal. They were borderline being worked illegal because there's maximum duty days, there's minimum rest times, there's maximum times on console. You can only be on the console handling traffic for so many hours. So it was certainly well deserved. It was a huge, I know a lot of airline pilots, a lot of folks who rely daily for their income and their ability to feed their families on ATC, who were going into, bringing ATC meals and stuff. And it was certainly well deserved. It was, stuck with between rock and a hard place. Good question. Says Laura Waldy, and talking about the new handles. YouTube's done this to count on the number of bots. Everyone has an account that starts with @ which is unique to each person, to cut down people trying to create extra names. Oh, that's fair. I'm good with that. Sort of makes sense. And then Christian B. I feel like I recognize that name too. It may take me a while to get there. Remember, it's been close to a year. It was January of 25. I stopped, and here we are. So now, as I start to learn these handles, I'll figure it out. It'll take me a while to figure some of it out, but not too bad. Let's see. Ms. Palat, I do remember Ms. Palat. I don't remember the numbers, but of course that's the new system. Glad to see you're back. Hope all is well with you and your family. Have a blessed holiday, and to you as well. Thank you very much. Everybody's happy and healthy. Can't ask for more than that, certainly. So thank you for those kind words. Prefers awkward. What the heck, Zach? Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Groovy. Oh wait, I didn't mean to do that. Pulled the wrong button. There we go. Oh no, I don't want to update the software on the computer. So a couple of weird things here. Said, what the heck, Zach? What the heck, Zach? Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, I'm here. Hi. It really is me. I do still exist. Sorry, I'm looking a little rough. I need to get a haircut. You shave the beard. There's a lot more gray in it than last time you guys saw me too. Look at all that. Got all that gray over there. Look like an old man now. Elephant says, really glad to see you're back and that you are in one piece. I am. Everything's good. So thank you very much. Kathleen Nelson, hi. Prefers awkward. I was a lurker more or less, but I recall chatting about a few legal things in the past. Yeah, probably. So it's been a while. Anna Ganaski, thrilled to see you back. I'm late coming in, but you are welcome. Oh, I did not read that right. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I'm late coming in, but you and yours are well. I am. Thank you so much. Way better camera and mic this time, or is it just me? No, same mic actually, just no stand on it. Normally it's sort of suspended like this, but no stand on it, same mic. So now I'm just holding it today. And I don't know if it's the same camera. I haven't purchased a new camera. I may have dug a different one out of a box, but I haven't purchased a new camera. I've got 2 or 3 webcams, but it's just a regular USB webcam right now. Kids will increase the grade. Yeah, certainly. Savannah asks, how long you been doing YouTube for? On and off, a little over 2.5 years total. I've only had my own channel for about 2 years. Miss Block got to take off. Glad I got the notification. Glad you got to hang out with us for a few minutes baking holiday cookies. Hey, eat one for me. Can't be there, so enjoy one on me. Kids will increase the grade. Yes, they will. Abigail, can't wait to see the memberships up. Anything to help you and the family. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. Have you been watching the SPTV series? Just tangentially. My life's been way too hectic. I mean, I can barely keep up with the legal community, and I have a legal obligation to keep up with that in order to maintain my continuing legal education credit. So I'm required to do so many hours a year of continuing ed. So I can barely keep up with that, much less what's happening on the outside of the world. So good question. Art and Quartz, I think we've all packed on the gray. It's been a wild year. It has. Thank you very much. Hi, Zach. Missed you. Thank you, Gypsy Witch, 2530. Glad to see you back. And Art and Quartz has more gray because she defended her PhD, her dissertation this year. So congratulations, Dr. Art and Quartz. Yes, congratulations to you. As I'm sure you know, Laura, as one of the moderators, I've been communicating with Art and Quartz. She's the only one I have direct communication with. You and Gary have to email, but she and I've been talking. So she did tell me that she had successfully defended. And for those on the channel who don't know, Art and Quartz is one of my moderators, and she did. She is now the proud holder of a Doctor of Philosophy in Political Science. So congratulations to her. Savannah says, what's something that other lawyers do that you can't stand? Oh, that's a good question. Object to everything at depositions. Okay. Object to everything at depositions. If I ask somebody, where'd you go to high school? Obviously, I'm not going to put that in at trial. Where they went to high school isn't a material fact. It's not in dispute, and it doesn't tend to lead to the believability of something more than it would if I didn't ask the question. But I'm trying to create a comprehensive background understanding of this person's life and how they ended up in front of me at deposition. So quit objecting to everything I ask. 99% of these questions are legitimate. Don't waste my time, yours, and the courts. The other one are these big, long speaking objection colloquies in state court. Doesn't have much of federal court, but in state court for sure. So those are just a couple of my peeves. Good. Nelly Ram 9391. Nice to see Zach. Hope all is well with you and the family. Everybody's happy and healthy. Thank you so much for those kind words. I'm glad you're here. And we see here Kiera Kayak 7521. Is the show button there? There it is. All right. Kiera Kayak 7521. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yay, Zach. Hope you and the family are great. I was just thinking about you when I was putting my mug on your mug. When I was putting my mug on your mug, well, thank you so much, Kiara. And of course, for those who don't know, she's referencing the merch store. You can get a coffee mug of this fantastic thing, along with other cool stuff. I still wear, of course, it's my own swag, but I wear it. I wear the hat. I wear the T-shirt. So when you guys see it online, I have one, and my daily drinking coffee mug has my face on it, and I wear the Be Kind to Someone T-shirt, and I have that. So I wear the swag too, and I don't get it for free. Just so we're clear on that, I get it at a discount, but I don't get free samples. Everything that I wear, I actually have to pay for. So I don't wear my own swag for free. So I have to support myself too. Did you get snow yet? You get snow here. Just got snow here and just cold and rainy here now. No, we haven't had snow. If we don't, occasionally we get a fall snow. There's been one major snow over Thanksgiving in the last 30 years. I don't ever remember any kind of snow. In fact, at Christmas, it's supposed to be like 78 on Christmas Day or something, and then be in the mid 60s. And then it'll start to get cold in late January, and then into February, it'll get cold. We've had one bout of cold, but it hasn't really gotten real cold. So, good question. Aren't courts just finished first semester as a professor? It's been great. Good. Now you can convey all that knowledge you spent all that time and money earning. Good. Sorry if you mentioned. Did you ever figure out the hearing thing? You talking about the hearing aids? Yeah. So that was asked. We didn't get there yet. We're close. The money you guys have given me, that's of course sitting in an account. I haven't spent that. You guys gave me that for a reason, so it's going to stay where it is. But I had to reallocate some time and efforts for some other things this year. But I appreciate it. Nana Donna says hated the new YouTube handle, so went and changed it back to Nana Donna. Arden Court, you told me where you were. I'll have to go back and look at the message to find out what you told me. What college you're at. You don't have to broadcast it here, but I need to go back and look where that is. Hannah Banana, welcome back. Thank you so much. Laura, be safe. We will talk to you soon. Prefers Awkward says, I'm sure you've heard, but there are earbuds now that include some hearing aid functionality. It might not be as good as the official thing, but maybe it's been done. It's true. And actually, the newest edition, oddly enough, the newest edition of the AirPod Pros have the, well, I guess the last two editions, but certainly the newest ones that I have here, have the sound canceling capabilities. So what I actually do is in really loud environments, I'll put one in, and that one will run and dampen the noise and sound reduce one ear. So then I can hear the outside world. And then if I need to hear something finite, I can pick it up with the ear that doesn't have the earbud in it. But I've adapted to the world that way. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Well, and I'm always looking. I mean, as the technology gets better, it's like everything else. As the technology gets better, the technology will get cheaper as well, and the affordability point will shift a little bit. So yeah, all good points. Laura, have a very good evening. I know you've been up late. Have a good night. We'll talk soon. All right. What other questions you guys have? As soon as you guys are done asking questions, it'll be time for me to go to bed. But tonight's all about you. It's only about me. It's my channel. I talk about what I want to, but tonight's about you. So if you guys have questions, now is a fantastic time to offer them. Yeah. I was updating them on your progress. You had started the degree about the time I turned the channel off last year. My much better half has walked in. You guys can't see her. She's on the other side of the bank of monitors here, but what states am I a lawyer in? I am licensed in the state of Oklahoma. In the state of Colorado, I am licensed in the Chickasaw Nation of Oklahoma. I am licensed in the Northern District of Oklahoma, Eastern District of Oklahoma, and Western District of Oklahoma federal courts, the United States District Court for the District of Colorado, and the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is housed in Denver. So, Art in Court says, hi, Megan. Megan says hello. She's off camera right over here. She's looking over and she can read the comments, but she's off camera. I would invite her on, but it's Sunday around our house and we've been cleaning, so I don't feel like she's confident in sticking her head on the camera. You can see her shadow though on the wall there. Let's see. Not seeing any of the mods. I'm not sure why you're not seeing the mods. Laura was here and Art and Quartz is still here. So, can open a can of worms. What do you think will happen to Luigi? I don't know. That's going to be really, really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what the jury does if he doesn't take a plea. For those who don't know, Luigi's the guy who unalived the CEO of United Healthcare in the middle of Manhattan. So I think it was Manhattan. It was somewhere in New York, so I think it was Manhattan. Tyrone says you don't like Kansas. I don't have beef with Kansas. I have no beef at all with Kansas. In fact, Kansas is the world headquarters of general aviation, so no beef with Kansas. I just don't practice there. I've never needed to practice there. I mean, I lived and practiced in Denver, and all the appellate courts, all the federal courts in Oklahoma, if you appeal them, they appeal to the 10th Circuit in Denver, so that would make sense. And then when you're in a state, and your practice takes you into federal court, you want to make sure you're properly licensed in all of the federal courts that you may be practicing into. So. Yeah, I have no beef with Kansas, though, I promise. Snuff Lizard says, welcome back. Thank you very much. Hope you and the family are doing well. We are. Everybody's happy and healthy. Can't complain. Hardcore says, I don't think we can see the vertical chat. And yeah, maybe you can't. I can see both of them. And on my screen, I don't know if I can figure out how to share the screen. But anyway, so you guys see me here. And on this side, so to my right, the chat pops up. So I don't actually have, like, over here, I have on this monitor, I have the YouTube studio, the data analytics side. And then in front of me is the camera where I'm looking. And on that same monitor is the chat scrolling right over here. Actually, I guess it'd be right over here. And there is a graph, or there's an image next to, so there's the person's username. So in this case, Arden Courts, she's blue because she's a moderator. Hannah Banana, when she says, hope the family's doing well, I see her picture, I see her handle, I see the time. And then if somebody's watching it in vertical, for example, Tyrone, there's what looks like a little cell phone in the vertical configuration next to the timestamp. So I can see those who are vertical and those who are regular. So still playing with it. Let's see. Snuff Lizard said, what do you think about Aaron going to jail? I need to, I did check in with him. I just texted him and, said, I hope all's well. And he, let me rephrase. He texted me, said, hope all is well. And I replied to his thanks. I saw where he had been picked up, and sat in jail for 22 days, but I don't know the whole story. I haven't had a chance to really look at it. So I'd give you an opinion if I had one. I just don't know enough about it to sound anything more than like a buffoon. So. Tyrone said, I was playing. I'm in Kansas and dealing with the courts constantly. Good for you for being registered and in Oklahoma, Colorado. Thanks, man. Actually, a good friend of mine from law school, one of my best friends from law school, is from Kansas. He's from Sedan, Kansas, right on the southern border, right there with Oklahoma. Wichita State guy, Sedan, Kansas, and then met him in law school. And now he's doing, I'm not sure what he's doing, criminal law or something. He's doing some big time law in Vegas, actually, Las Vegas. So after, while he was studying for the bar in Vegas, I went out there on a trip. So he and I got together and painted the town for 4 or 5 hours one night before I came home. So good dude. Yeah, he's from Southern Kansas for sure. Okay, somebody says they have access to both. That's yeah. I said, I'm not sure what you guys can see on your end. I know what I can see on my end, but my end's always been different. So do I need a cat? I don't. I have people in my house allergic to cats. So no, sorry. No cats here. Depending on how long the stream lasts, I may have to leave soon since I work around. Hey, brother, if you need to get, man, take care of yourself first. I'll always be here. I'm on Christmas break, so I'm off for 2 weeks. So I don't normally rattle around on Sunday nights at 10 o'clock at night. That's not my normal 9:47. That's not my normal habit of doing things. But I'm off on break, so I don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. I can do that later. I can find another time during the day. So groovy. When a lawyer finds themselves in a suit in an area of law they're an expert in, do they ever self-represent or better have colleagues represent? Yeah. The old saying is, good question. The old saying is, a lawyer who represents himself as a fool for a client. If I ever found myself crosswise, I would immediately hire somebody, whether they're my friends or not. I would hire the best person in that space, the best lawyer who practiced in that area that I could afford. Yeah, for sure. He says, Southern Kansas where the men are men and the sheep are scared. I've only flown over it. I've driven through it once or twice when I was flying a jet. It was based we were based out of Oklahoma. We did maintenance in Wichita, so we'd have to drive up to Wichita on occasion, but not much. Did Pam Bondi break the law with the Epstein files? Pam Bondi's broken the law several times, not just with the Epstein stuff. Certainly, the DOJ could possibly be in serious contempt with failure to produce the actual unredacted Epstein information. But we'll have to see how that plays out. Good question. Abigail, heading out. Have to work tomorrow. Back on. Will you go back to Friday and Saturday streams? Maybe. I'll try. Friday's my birthday. Well, happy early birthday if I don't see you then. Welcome back. It's great to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us, Abigail. And thanks, as always, for the super chat. Appreciate you hanging out with us. If you're a normal lawyer now, do you plan on being a DA or such in the future, possibly? What's promotion look like for a lawyer? Oh, great question. I don't know that I want to be a DA, or I certainly don't want to run for political office. I grew up in a house with politicians. My dad, my grandfather both served in elected positions in government. I learned a lot from them, and I'm thankful for those opportunities and the learning that I was able to do. But I also don't want to subject my family to the stresses of an election cycle, where your job is at risk every 2 or 4 or 6 years, depending on the election cycle that you're on. But as far as being like just an assistant DA or an assistant prosecutor, if my life takes that direction, that's fine. I actually work in the education space full time at the moment, and I'm pretty happy with what I do. I do a little bit of legal work, but both in and out of the education space. What does a promotion look like for a lawyer? Well, in the private sector, it's get hired as an associate. You normally have 5 to 7 years to make partner. Once you make partner, then you're on your bonus structure changes, your compensation changes, and then partner doesn't mean shareholder. It means something different. And then shareholder is when you take an actual equity stake in the firm. So. And then you get additional bonus payments and profit sharing. So if all of the equity holders are paid out $1 million, the equivalent of $1 million, and I own 10%, I would get $100,000 of that million, for example. So on top of my salary and my bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So it's a normal progression. If you're familiar with how like accounting firms or financial firms work, it's very similar to that. In the government space, it would be going from an entry-level attorney and working your way up to someone where I was able to maybe handle my own caseload and then become in a supervisory capacity where I'm overseeing younger lawyers, not just writing pleadings, but other people writing pleadings, and then working with them to develop trial strategies and litigation strategies, what have you. So moving from a front line to a supervisory position is very similar to the way promotions work in most other spaces as well. Robin Hood 11B, you're not normally up when leaders like me finally get the kids down. It depends. It also depends on your time zone, but we try to have all the kids in bed we try to have them laid down between 8 and 8:30. When they fall asleep, it's a different issue, but we try to have them laid down between 8 and 8:30. The older one's a little later, the younger one a little earlier. Tyler Oliviera dropped a video about that today, including some clips of it. It's about 1 million views. Yeah, I'll have to look at it. I guess I don't know anything about it. Acute pumpkin clodhopper. How is your health, my man? Are you good? I am very good. Everybody's happy and healthy here. So thanks for that. I'm going to come back to your question, Tyler. Are all court-appointed lawyers such losers? How do they find these people? I've never had to have confidence. Well, one, let me apologize. I'm sorry you've had adverse experiences with public defenders. And are all court-appointed lawyers such losers? No. It's like everything else. There are some private practice attorneys who charge obnoxious sums of money to represent people, and they're not very good at their job. And there are some court-appointed lawyers who are very good. With court-appointed lawyers, they sort of come in two varieties. Some are, like we talked about, sort of bottom dwellers. They're not real motivated. They're not real skillful. They don't have a lot of tact. And then there's also the other extreme where some of the best trial lawyers you've ever seen that I've ever watched are public defenders, because they try so many cases a year. Some of them may try 20 cases a year, which is insane. It's an insane number. And so they end up in those public service jobs like that. They're never going to make a lot of money, $40,000 or $50,000 starting salary if you're lucky in a big municipality, big county that has a fully staffed public defender's office. It's not just on a contract. Most of them are very good. They are way overworked, and that's not to say most lawyers aren't, but they are way overworked, and they have massive caseloads, and they have no budget, but they are very hardworking. And they are very skillful, and they maximize their opportunities that they have and their clients' opportunities. Whether some of them are great negotiators, but they're not great trial lawyers. Others are great in the courtroom, but they can't negotiate well. And that's where you can, partner up with other people in the office to help you work through some of that stuff. But it's like everything else. The ones that are sort of middle of the road, they tend to leave because they have opportunities outside. Those that are really bad may stay because they can't get hired anywhere else. And then those that are very good but choose to stay they stay because they're called to do that. They like working with the least. They like working with the people who have the most to lose. They feel like their skill set is being used in a meaningful, articulable, and measurable way, making a difference in people's lives. Even if you have a case that is unwinnable, you have the defendant on 14 video cameras admitting to it. You have a video camera watching the criminal or the defendant commit the criminal act. They still won. They have a constitutional right, but more importantly, the system of justice in this country requires that those people have the very best lawyers out there, because that's what holds the government accountable. Right. Even if you don't get your client acquitted, you made sure the government put on their very best case, because if this bad person did this bad thing, the government is required to prove it. And if they don't, if the bad person didn't do this bad thing, then you need to make sure the government can't prove it. So I've often heard it referred to as the attorney of accountability. The defense doesn't have to prove anything. They have to make sure the government does. And they do that by being ready to go all the time. So very good. Anna Ganaski, thanks for hanging out with us. In the shadow of your wife. We can see you again. Yeah, I'm back. So I'll be around. We'll talk to you soon. Be safe. Republicans are usually really skillful. Yeah, exactly. Dragon Reader 9924, thank you. Welcome back. I appreciate those kind words. Yeah, so see, guys, it's comments like that make me sad. But the good news is I have a magic button on my end that makes those people go away. So that's the cool part. What do you think about Rob Reiner's son and his defense? Well, first off, it's a tragedy. I feel for the Reiner family. Art and courts, that came from the vertical. I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out what I need to do to get you guys access on the back end of that. Maybe Barb Sylvie can help me with that one day. Welcome back, Barb. I see you down there. So first off, my thoughts go out to the Reiner family. It's just a tragedy all the way around. Rob and his wife, executed allegedly at the hands of their son. So, I haven't seen his defense. I'm not sure what his defense is, whether it's self-defense or mental illness or mental defect. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it makes me sad. But I'd have to look into it. I do know, I am aware that it happened, and I am aware that the son has been arrested. That's about all I can tell you about the case right now. So maybe I'll have some more information for you in the future. Art and Courts, the username was A.W.8216. Barb Soy says, "What's so happy?" Hey, Barb. So glad you're here. And your profile picture is just as fantastic as always. One of the joys of my day is watching you pop up in the chat with that rainbow mohawk. It's just one of those little things that makes it's hard to have a bad day when I look at the chat and see your world-class hairdo down in there. So glad you're here with us tonight. Says his attorney is Alan Jackson. Okay, I don't know who that is. I'm sure he's famous in California. I'm just not from there, so I'll have to look into Alan Jackson. Looks like mental defect. Yeah, that's rough. Because here's the thing: one, we don't see a lot of mental defect cases ever actually get tried. That's sort of part one, and then part two is, and even if it does win, even if the defect defense is tried, and he's found not guilty by reason of insanity, mental defect, whatever the law of the jurisdiction is. There's still no winners. We still can't bring those people back, of course. So it is, yeah. So in that case, if somebody's found not guilty by reason of insanity, not reason by reason of mental defect, they don't walk free. They are then institutionalized into a long-term mental health care and psychiatric care facility. Somebody older than me helped me remember the name of the guy who unalived John Lennon. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity. I think it was him. Also the guy who shot Reagan. I think both. I know the guy who shot Reagan. I think the guy who shot Lennon. They didn't go free. They were institutionalized into a psychiatric care facility. Barb says he represented Jeffrey Epstein and Karen Reed. Okay, well, certainly deep pockets there. Dusty soda dispenser. Have you been, Zach? I've been very good, Dusty. Thank you. Have the skies been friendly? They have, at least to me. Merry Christmas from Clearwater, and to you as well. Yeah, something like that. Michael David Chapman, something along those lines. Yeah, Mark Chapman. There it is. Thank you, Mark Chapman. Right. So Hinckley did shoot Reagan. And so here's the thing. If you're found not guilty, so there's a couple of ways you can do it. And they all sort of mean the same thing. Not guilty by reason of insanity, not guilty due to mental defect, or guilty but insane. So you can be found guilty, but the jury can also find that you are incompetent. And therefore, even though you're found guilty, if you're also found incompetent, it means that sort of by law, you cannot be held responsible for the actions you took when you were in a compromised psychiatric or mental state. So a couple of moving parts, but ultimately they boil down to the same thing. Hinckley was institutionalized, and at some point he regained his mental faculties. And once you have regained your mental faculties and your whatever your mental illness is, your psychiatric disorder is, once it is regulated and treated, then the right. So the whole theory is, if you did it and you weren't insane, you're going to go to prison to pay the dues because you're a threat to society. If you did it but you're found not guilty by some psychiatric or mental reason, you're still a threat to society. So we're going to put you in a facility where you can't hurt other people or yourself. If that threat to society goes away because your condition is now regulated, or whatever the situation is, the mental health community, the mental health professionals have identified that they no longer need to care for you. You are capable of caring for yourself, and you no longer pose a threat to society. Then incarcerating you, keeping you under lock and key, does no good at that point. If the purpose is to lock people up because they pose a threat to other people, when that threat goes away, the need to lock them up must also go away. I'm not telling you that I agree with it or that it's right or wrong. That's just the legal theory surrounding all this. Gene the Bean, thank you very much. Glad to be back. Had to go get a new screen and battery in my phone the other day, which I hate doing anyway. But I found out that Apple will no longer support my phone after 2027 because my phone is older than my oldest child. Because America. What do you think will happen now to Megan Geyser? I'm not sure I know who Megan Geyser is. Let me jump over here to my other screen and see if I can Google her name, I guess. I don't guess I know who Megan Geyser is. Is it Geyer? Is that what you're trying to say, maybe? That's a softball player. Oh, the Slender Man girl. Yeah, I don't know. I'm familiar with the Slender Man case, but I'm not sure what happened after that idea or after that. Just had to use my iPhone 6. Yeah, I think I've got the 11. Is what the guy at the store said I had, and so mine will stop being supported soon. Hinckley was on conditional release for 6 years free, man. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's the girl. She was like 14 or whatever. Yeah, I remember reading about it. I don't know, didn't know she was out or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. Weird things happen in this world, man. I don't know. It's a weird place. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up soon. I'm tired. I got to go make the bed. I had to change the sheets on the bed because it's Sunday, and that's what I do. Is there's nothing very few things I like in life more than crawling into a bed with clean sheets after being freshly showered. So, wrap this up here in just a minute. We've already gone an hour. I figured I'd only be 3 or 4 people here. Yeah, 62 of you guys in here hanging out with me, which is fantastic. Well, my friend, I see one of my folks in the vertical chat, Inevitable Jordan Davis. Let's see here. Apparently, I've offended you so much that I'm just going to go ahead and ban and delete. Have a nice night. We can solve that real quick. Let's see. Alicia D. Good to see you back. Thank you. Glad to have my back. Let's see. Glad you're back and love listening to you. Thank you very much. Hey, for those who don't know, I'll get back to this. Let me get Barb's question here. How are your ears or your eyes, whichever one was broken? I can't see for squat, but that's because I'm old now, Barb. So the hearing aid fund is getting there. We're not there yet. Life sort of got in the way, and so I just left that money sit. You guys have done a good job of helping me raise some of that money, but on the all in all, we're just it's still sitting there, and when the time comes, we'll grip it and rip it. So appreciate that. Let's see. I was going to come back to that. What was it? Oh, so for those who don't know, so I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live because that's a little creepy. But anyway, I'm not that far from McKinney, Texas. There's a comedy club in McKinney, Texas that on occasion I go do stand up at. Nana Davis, have a good night. The Nurse Who Loved Me 89. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you as well. Glad you're back. Glad to be back. Guys, let's make the cameras off a little bit here. Give me just a second. Sorry, I don't want to make you sick. Haha, that's better. So anyway, there's a comedy club down there that I go to. Sometimes I do stand-up comedy. So if you ever find yourself in the McKinney area, there's a comedy club down there called the Comedy Arena. So I go down there from time to time. Occasionally my wife gets tired of hearing my jokes. So she go tell them to somebody else. So I do. I load up and I drive down and I hit the open mic down there from time to time. It's never scheduled. Most of the time it's, hey, we've got a Tuesday off for, the kids or the grandparents or something. And I get a few hours on a Tuesday night. I run down there and jump on their open mic set. So we'll see. Happy Quails, Elsie. I'd enjoy seeing your stand up. Well, I hope you would, but also I'll be now. I love stand up. There are some stand up comedians that I don't like, but I like stand up, like the art form of stand up. My humor is probably not for everybody, but that's okay. If I tell a joke and people don't laugh, that's okay. Maybe it's not funny. It's hilarious to me. Maybe it's not funny. Then that's okay. Kira says, "What? That's so cool. Thank you." Let's see. How's your wife's school? It's good, Barb. Thanks for asking. You asked that earlier. I didn't answer. I'm so sorry. She has a spring semester, so January to May, and then she has like an 8-week semester in the fall. So like I think it's October to December, and then she's done with her coursework. And then the summer will be used to. She's already written the first 2 chapters of her dissertation, and she's done her lit review. So, so she's got a little bit of work left, and then this summer she'll finish up writing the dissertation. But she's on track to finish in December of 26. So yeah, it's getting close, especially considering it's almost January of 26. That date's getting real big in the window, and I'm just so darn proud of her. I'm just so darn proud of her. What's your subject matter? Alicia D says, "Will you no longer be a lawyer? When?" I mean, I don't practice law full time now, but I'm required to keep abreast of the law. I'm not sure what you mean by will you no longer be a lawyer. I mean, as long as I maintain my licensure, I will always be a lawyer. Technically, I'll always be a lawyer, even if I give up my licensure, whatever, hang it up. Let's see. What's my subject matter? Most of it's observational. Most of it's observational comedy. I'm trying to think of okay, like I'll give you an example. So for those who don't know, Megan's dad, my wife's dad, is a Santa for hire. So starting in early November through, I think, yesterday or the day before, he goes around the region. So Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and he gets hired to be a Santa. He's got a big belly and white hair and his big, thick white beard. I mean, it's a legitimate Santa. And he's got 4 or 5 really nice Santa costumes, and he's got different backdrops and sets. And my mother-in-law travels around and will take photos if he wants to or whatever. And so he charges for it. It's a cool little gig that he's got. And so he, and I joke and I say that my mother-in-law is his pimp. My mother-in-law pimps him out because I love my father-in-law, but he's not a big tech guy. He's not into digital calendars, and it's all he can do to Google and text message on his phone sometimes, right? It's one of those things. And so so I give him a hard time. He's not a real techie guy. So I give him a hard time saying that my mother-in-law is his pimp. Well, if he's the pimp, or if she's the pimp, what is he? And somebody told me I had written that joke out, and I was trying to come up with a punchline without missing a beat. I was sitting next to somebody and I go, well, obviously, if she's the pimp, then he's the ho ho ho. So that's one. I've got a bit that I do that leads up into that, and that's the punchline on that. So most of it's observational. They're all stories. I tell stories, and they're all true stories. They're all true stories. So some of it's about lawyering, some of it's about flying, some of it's about just life in general. Some of it's about, my religious upbringing, and, I'm Methodist and I married a Baptist, and I've got some jokes about, the differences in the way we were raised and that sort of thing. So am I going to hang it up to be a comedian? Oh, Lord, no. My house got to be paid for. Thing 1 and thing 2 must be in college by now. No, thing 1 is 6 and thing 2 is 2.5. So, although it's going to be, I'm going to feel in about 10 minutes, they'll be walking out the door to college too. So I appreciate that. No, Alicia, am I going to hang it? No, I would love to hang it up to be a comedian. But I'm just at this point with 2 kids and a house and a wife, it's not worth the risk. Now those that are successful in it, man, that's what you got to do. You got to jump off with 2 feet and figure out a way to make it work. He's got to grind, but prefers awkward. I can imagine a lawyer saying, "Your Honor, would you like to? You want to hear my stand-up routine?" I will say that comedy used in court can be powerful if used correctly. To provide some comic relief to a stressful situation or something. If used properly, it can really be a cool thing. So yeah, if you guys ever find yourself down in McKinney, Texas, I don't broadcast when I'm going. Now, if you follow the Comedy Arena Facebook page, I think it's a Facebook page. They're an Instagram page, something. They're on social media in some capacity. I get an email about it, but I think it's on Tuesday afternoons, they put out their schedule of who's going to be their comics for the night. So if you follow that and you see that and you see my name on the list, then you know I'm going to be there. Okay, now, it says, Happy Girl says, my lawyer was highly offended by my using any humor. Yes, as a lawyer, if I'm examining a witness or I'm representing a client, I don't want you to be funny. I need you to do exactly what I tell you to do. I need you to follow the rules that I tell you to follow. Because if you're trying to be funny, then it means I may not have control over how you act in the courtroom or how you say things in the courtroom. But as a lawyer, if it's properly timed, there are things that I can do to break it up, that I can make the jury laugh. I can make the judge laugh. I can make opposing counsel chuckle. So sometimes it'll break the tension in the room a little bit. It says, I felt that all humor is off limits. Sometimes it is. It depends on the judge. It depends on the case. Certainly if you're on trial for some sort of violent crime, there's not a lot of humor there. My lawsuits were always involving like people suing each other for insurance money or breach of contract or something. But first, coffee _ Susie Oberholt. I recognize part of the name. Oh my God, so glad you're back. Thank you so much. Now, that ho 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 joke, it's benign. I've got some stuff. I don't say it on here. I don't want to get demonetized. I don't want to catch any flags. I don't want to flag the algorithm. But so I don't talk the way I normally would. I don't want to say this is a character. You're getting the real me, but I talk differently. I use language that can make a sailor blush, that can make a Marine find religion sometimes. And I've got some spicy stuff. It's not blue comedy, but I got some stuff that's pretty edgy. I got some stuff that with the right audience is really funny, and there's some layers to the humor, but is what it is. Barb Sylvie says Zach also has content about being a pilot and flying airplanes. He's also been a professor teaching baby pilots to fly. So that's all cool content as well. Oh, I misunderstood. I was just talking about the topic of my stand-up. You're talking about the topic of the channel. Yeah, topic of the channel is well, there you go. Barb nailed it. See, this is why we need more Barb. Everybody needs a Barb Sylvie in their life because they help keep us all squared away and on the right track. If it weren't for Barb Sylvie, I'd still be down the comedy rabbit hole. So good catch. Yeah. Speaking of Legos, Barb, we got the FJ Cruiser here, and we got a camper. And if I remember correctly, I thought it opened. Does it? I don't think so. I thought it did, but it may not. Now, eventually, right back over here, I'm going to build a couple of floating shelves, and most of the completed Lego sets will be on here rotating through. There's a pirate ship in that closet that you can't see. I've got the Harry Potter sorting hat. I got some stuff downstairs being built. I got a bunch of stuff that I need to put on my floating shelves up here. And so the background will all be lawyery. Somebody commented on my background earlier. I need to go find it. Somebody said something about maybe my shirt conflicted or was easy to see or something. Because I'm conflicting. It's better than the white wall. Yeah. This is just the spare bedroom in my house. It's not like an actual studio. It's just a spare bedroom with a desk in it, but it is what it is. Barb says, now you know why we're all here. Zach is a man of many talents, and in addition, he's quite humble. Well, thank you. I try to be. Now, my wife does a good job of keeping me grounded. She really does. I mean, I want to be like her when I grow up. And I say that unabashedly. When you see me looking off, guys, I've got my monitor's here, my computer's here. So if you see me looking off, I'm just looking at someone else. No, my wife keeps me grounded. I joke with people that I've been married long enough to know, and I've helped enough people get divorced to know that it's cheaper to keep her. But the reality is this: I will never do better than her. There are no bluer skies or greener pastures than the lady I'm married to. So why keep looking? You know, it is what it is. Listen, guys, I'm gonna wind it down. We'll go. I've got an hour 15 is what I'm showing on the screen, so we'll go to about an hour 20, and then I'm gonna shut it down. So I'm tired. You know what? It's interesting too. I was sitting here thinking about this just now. Um, when I stopped doing YouTube is when I had to start taking melatonin to go to bed. I think I use YouTube to sort of offload a lot of the thoughts in my head. I think is what I do. I think I use YouTube to offload a lot of these thoughts. So. Electric Boogaloo. Okay. Hello, just started watching on ×2 speed. Well, you probably won't hear this for the next 30 minutes, but okay. I'm glad you're here. All right, so about another 3.5 minutes left. So if you guys have questions, ask them. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up here at about what is it? 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We're gonna wrap it up somewhere around there. CBD made from orange peels with 0 THC is excellent. I've heard that. I think I take 10 mils I take 2 5 mil gummies of melatonin. It helps. I mean, I can get to sleep. Don't get me wrong. I can nap with the best of them, but I don't want to really stare at the ceiling for an hour and 10 minutes to get there, though. If you follow me. I gotta be honest. You guys are just fantastic. I was afraid I was gonna get on here and I'd see nobody. There'd be, me and maybe Barb and Laura for a few minutes and Art and Quartz for a few minutes. But you guys have just been fantastic. I'm just so darn happy that you guys are still here. I was afraid you guys had all moved on with your life. Because the deal is, I was actually talking with one of my moderators today. Like, should I start a new channel? Should I rebrand? Should I come out with the same page I was on before? And I mean, I still got a bunch of subscribers, you guys, and it's fantastic. And you guys make this happen. But it's hard to go to start a channel and try to get all the followers again and all that kind of stuff, because you guys aren't subscribed to the new page. If you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, by the way, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know every time I go live. I do have memberships in the works. So as soon as I get confirmation from YouTube, that'll be out on the page as well. Any weird dreams? No. No. Not to my knowledge. I don't wake up remembering them if I had them, for sure. Barb says, we never had any background. We came for the Zach. Well, thanks, Barb. I appreciate that. And here's a super chat from Susie. But first, coffee_Subi Oberholtz. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, glad you're back, country. Thank you so much for support. Elephants. People missed you. Well, I missed you guys too. Hardcore says, I missed the captive year with the brick wall. Yeah, with the prison background. Let's see. Prefers said, I don't know how YouTube figured it out, but it dropped this stream right on my feed. Well, hopefully it's because you're subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. But if you are, that's probably why. Like anything I subscribe to, I get a notification when somebody schedules something. So there you go. The non-psyched 0.3% dose THC and CBD helps that cumulative long half-life. Did your foster babies find a home? They did. They are not, at least as of the last time I spoke with them, they are not back with their parents. But they did find a more permanent placement. We were never intended as the permanent placement. We were a temporary stop on that chain. Before we got them, they had been in 10 homes in 60 days. They were averaging less than a week a stop. And so they've spent back half of the summer and through the first half of the school year at the same place. And then they were with us for a year before that. So hopefully, our link in that chain of stops along their way towards hopeful reunification, helped give them some consistency and some routine and some solidarity and some the ability to feel safe along that chain. That's all we ever hope for. Says I meant from ignore the country. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, darn our country. I get it. Yeah, I got you. Love to make the kids. Thank you so much. Says it threw you at us and you landed right in the pocket of our mitts. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. Listen, that's gonna be time for me tonight. I will do my best to get back out, and maybe we'll do something tomorrow. We'll see. Algorithm still algorithm. That's true. That's true. Listen, you guys, I am so excited to be back, and I'm so incredibly appreciative that you guys are here, that you guys stayed in the community, stayed on YouTube long enough for me to come back. So I was nervous. I'll be honest. I told Megan, I said, I'm thinking about going back on YouTube, and thought about it and talked to some of my moderators. My moderators have been great. Art and Courts, Gary, Laura, the whole thing been just super fantastic to work with. And I bounced the idea off of them. Say, hey, am I where I need to be? Am I doing the right thing? And they said, well, the community's still there. There's still people out there for you. So if you want to come back, they're going to be there. And I trusted them, and they're right always. I've got great moderators here. So listen, you guys are fantastic. I appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't already, hit that. Make sure you like the page, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. I need to go. I haven't updated the Amazon link, and I don't know, or the Amazon list, and I don't know how long. I probably should go update that for you guys. But also, I need if you guys want to see anything particular in the merch store. So, whatever, you guys just let me know. I'm here for you. I mean, you guys pour into me. It makes my heart full that you guys are here, but I'm also here for you. I want to educate. I want to entertain. I want to learn with all you guys. So, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know every time we go live. If you have questions, let me know. Groovy. We'll see you guys soon. Hey, do me a favor. Be kind to somebody. We'll talk to y'all soon.